presents The Amateur's Edge with Jerrian Sanders, Randy Wade, and A.D. Roberts.
Good morning, and welcome to The Amateur's Edge. This is your host, Jerrian Sanders. I got my man Jamal Saint in the house.
What's going on?
How you doing today, brother?
Doing great.
How about yourself, Cleo?
Yo, glad to be here, baby.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a fun show planned for today, and we're encouraging callers or texts at 904-641-1010. We're talking about Bronny James and the LeBron James family. Bronny is being considered for the NBA draft after averaging 4.6 points a game. That is unprecedented. And people are asking the question, is this nepotism at a whole nother level?
Here you go, man. You gotta
So we're going to talk a little bit about that, man. You know, because you got to ask the question, if you were in LeBron's shoes, would you want to play with your son? Would you take advantage of your power to play with your son? You know, so we're going to talk about
that.
that.
Easy one. What you talking about?
So what we saying?
You mean I can get him out of my pockets?
Right.
Come on, cuz.
That remind me of what my dad used to say when I used to say, "Yeah, we got some money." My dad say, "We don't have
We
money.
ain't got nothing.
Me and your mama do. We ain't no we."
None of that.
Good deal. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit today. But let's get a little bit into sports. In the NBA championship game starts later on this week. We have the Dallas Mavericks versus the Nuggets. Guys, who y'all going with?
Celtics.
I mean, I'm talking the Nuggets.
Yeah. That's what you wanted to make it,
That's what I
baby,
wanted
you know.
was the Nuggets. The Dallas and the Celtics. Who you taking?
Ooh, man. I got to go with the Celtics. Because I feel like if it's not now, it's not happening.
They got to blow it up.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
Come on, man. How many times we going to do this before you win it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they was just there a couple years ago. You know, they lost to the Warriors. I didn't think they should have lost that series. And then they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals, something crazy, like 6 out of 7 years, something crazy.
It's been that many times?
Man, they are successful.
Right.
Like that combination of Jaylen Brown and Tatum are very successful. Like, they go down in NBA history as two of the most successful duos. But they don't have a ring. They got to do it.
And I think they got to pay Tatum after this year too, right?
Man, they just gave Brown $300 million.
That's what I'm saying. So if they gave Brown $300 million, what they gonna have to give Tatum?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, that NBA money ridiculous. Ridiculous. And this is not even his first contract. This ain't his first re-up. So that boy
Right.
eating. It's about that time. But, you know, look, I think you're right. I think they got to do it now because they've been together too long. They done been there. You've seen that. You the experienced team in the finals. I mean, with all that said, I don't think they're going to do it.
You don't think so?
I'm going with Luka.
Yeah.
Luka and Kyrie, I think they're going to get that thing done. But I think you're right. If they don't do it, people going to be looking around in Boston like, well, maybe they can't do it. They done got close. Maybe this is just a group that can only get close.
And they
Right.
don't,
You know?
and it's weird because they never play well at home in the playoffs. During the regular season, I think they only lost like 1 or 2 games in the regular season at home. But then in the playoffs, man, they'll lose a game, the first game of a series at home. I'm
Right.
like, come on, man.
Right. I think I agree with you guys because at the end of the day, they actually paid Jaylen Brown $350 million. So now you guys, we haven't gotten over that hump. Now it's time to re-up Jason Tatum. I'm gonna have to pay him more. So now I got almost $1 billion in 2 athletes and no championships.
Man.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna go very far for them boys.
They got to do it, man.
But I think that combination of Luka and Kyrie is something special. They figured out how to play together. I've always said this, and I've been on record for saying this. I think Kyrie Irving is the most skilled basketball player ever. And
You just saying that because you're a point guard.
well, you know, that's part of it. That's part of it.
I mean,
but he's embraced the role of being the Robin, right? You know, he's pushed so long to be that leading character, and he's had his shot, right? He had his shot with the Celtics. He had his shot with the Nets, and I guess you couldn't really figure out who the leading guy was there. So that was a total debacle. But now he has no choice but to take a look at and take a seat back and say, okay, Luka Doncic is something special. He's a generational talent. I'm on the back end of my career. let me get in where I fit in and help this team win a championship. So I think they're playing the way that they
And
need to
then
play.
shout out to Mark Cuban and Jason Kidd because when Kyrie was in Brooklyn, nobody want to touch him.
No,
Right.
no.
Nobody wanted him. Nobody wanted to touch him. He had a lot of stuff going on off the court.
Mhm.
So for them to see his talent and to see how it could mesh well with Luka, I think you got to give those guys, a shout out because they made that deal and it's paid off for them.
Yeah,
And the
they
role
had the
players have
vision.
been playing phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Lively, Brown, those guys, they've been playing their role.
Who are these guys?
Exactly.
Right.
Who are these guys? Because Hardaway, that I thought was going to contribute, he doesn't get any minutes.
Any.
No, not much.
And he has $100 million contract
Mm-hmm.
and is not playing.
Who are these guys?
AD, you better get Aiden right. You could be $100 million to sit the bench. I'll
Ooh.
take that job. any day.
Man, I
And
know
put,
that's
and
right.
put that chain around him, too. Put that little furry chain around him. I wish y'all could see this little furry chain.
Don't worry about it.
That's his lucky rabbit's foot.
Right.
I sure do need it. I definitely need it. So what's your prediction, man? What's the record gonna be?
7.
They going
Boston is 7.
Boston is 7. What'd you say, Jamal?
Man, I got Dallas in 6. I think that Kyrie, Chuck, you talking about Kyrie reminded me this is a revenge game for him too, revenge
Right.
series.
Right.
That boy got some bad blood with Boston. How that thing ended. So yeah, I'm not going against Luka and Kyrie. on
But
this
don't
one.
forget
He's
about
6.
Porzingis was in Dallas.
Right.
That's true. That's
And
true.
he was supposed to be,
He's supposed to be that guy.
Luka's,
Right.
sidekick.
But we see what happens when you light that fire on Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about, I got Kyrie. And what Kyrie do?
What you got?
He sliced his butt up.
Okay, but I'm going to say
He
this.
sliced him up.
And I could be totally wrong. Dallas better get everything they can get out of him this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if he's going to be ready to play the same type of game next year. So they better win it this year.
I think he's on the back end of his career, man. I think
Yeah.
he'll ride it out.
I mean,
he'll
that's-
get him a couple of chips if he can.
Well, that's what we've seen over the past couple of years. I mean, he's had stuff going on that wasn't basketball, but he's also had injuries
Right.
that it kind of slowed him down. This year, he's been mostly healthy, and that's the first time in a little while that we've really seen that from him.
And that's a big part of
Yeah.
why I wasn't sold on him to do what he's doing now.
Right.
Because of your point of the injuries. Sometimes they just always pop up with Kyrie for some
Right.
reason. And I don't know if he was really injured or he just he wasn't interested.
Right.
I don't know. That was always a question with me. How much did he love basketball?
Right.
Very skilled.
Right. Well, moving on, we had a passing of a legend this past week, Bill Walton, man. Bill, I remember watching NBA games growing up, and especially those championship series, and he was always a refreshing voice to listen to, man.
Bill Walton, man, he was like one of my favorites because not just because of the sports. Because I remember asking my dad, I used to see Bill Walton and be like, man, what he's done, he's nobody. He was like, hey, Bill Walton a bad boy. You got to realize. Then I had to go do my research and figure out his career at UCLA
Mhm.
and then all the things he did in the NBA with the Portland Trailblazers winning a chip and then with the Boston Celtics. And then it put more context in who he was as an announcer. And then I would listen to his positivity.
Right.
I just became a fan, man. Shout out Bill Walton.
And you got to realize, too, he stayed hurt his whole career.
Absolutely.
His whole career. He battled through injuries his whole career. So that kind of tainted what his legacy could have possibly been because
And
he
then
was a
watch
phenomenal college
and watch
player.
that 30 for 30 too. That Bill Walton 30 for 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely lost a legend in that one. Definitely lost a legend in Bill Walton. I mean, just the impact that he's had on the game. I mean, watching him play. He's been calling games forever, and he was one of the more entertaining play-by-play or color guys in the league for a long time. Calling them games, those games will wake you up in the Pac-12 after
The
dark
Pac-12,
game.
man,
You
right.
catch that in the middle of the night, you be like, "Hold on, what am I listening? What am I watching?"
Like, what is Bill Walton talking about? It'd be so interesting, though. I used to love watching him, man. That's awesome.
All right, we still got plenty more of the Amateur's Edge coming your way. This segment was brought to you by Premier Physical Therapy. Your wellness journey begins at Premier Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, the gold standard in orthopedic and sports rehab for adults and adolescents alike. You can dial 904-996-6922 or visit premierptjacks.com today for the Premier experience. You're listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser start the week by giving the ball to the best back in Duval.
And off, Fred Taylor.
Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and B&B Fuel and Lubricants on 1010XL.
Parents, now is the time to start signing up your kids for the best basketball camp in the 904. Tommy Houlihan's basketball camp at Beaches Chapel in Neptune Beach. 2 sessions now open and ready for registration. 1 week in June, 1 week in July. Camp focuses on basic fundamentals and team concepts of the game. Keep your kid active this summer with Tommy Houlihan's basketball camp programs. Register today at TommyHoulihanBasketball.com. TommyHoulihanBasketball.com. Sessions will sell out. Let's play ball.
Your wellness journey begins at Premier Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, the gold standard in orthopedic and sports rehab for adults and adolescents alike. Dial 904-996-6922 or visit PremierPTJax.com today. Experience the Premier difference and take your first step towards a healthier, stronger you. Premier Physical Therapy, where Jacksonville comes to heal. PremierPTJax.com.
Did you know Duck Duck Rooter is the area's go-to plumber? A 5-star Google-rated company, Duck Duck Rooter can take care of all of your plumbing repairs and upgrades. Need to switch from septic over to city sewer? Call the Duck. How about water heater repairs and replacement? You're just a duck away, or call away, for Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Hicken here with Zero Res. If you're like me, you like to sit on the sofa and recliners and watch a good game or show. You know, unwind down from the day. But sometimes TV time means food, drink, and a mess as well. That's why you need to have the Zero Res truck out and get that furniture looking great again. All of June, Zero Res offering 25% off all upholstery cleaning, 25% off a sectional, off a sofa, 25% off a love seat, 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man. You spell it forwards, you spell it backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
The All-Pro Roofing phone line protects you from boring radio.
Hello?
What are you doing here?
I don't know.
Listen for great phone interviews all day on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
The calls have been pouring in.
On 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
I'm Justin Nornduff, creator of DVS, a medically backed pitching development program designed to develop young throwers' arms safely. We are excited to be launching our Florida Development Center at B3 Better in Jacksonville. To celebrate DVS, we are offering a free virtual coaches clinic and also giving away 20 free team DVS and athletic assessments at B3 Better. To register for the clinic and your team's chance to win, go to b3better.com/DVS and secure your spot today.
Pross, I'm thinking about changing my name.
Again? You're already the media mogul, the straw that stirs the drink, the Duke of Pablo Bay. Now what?
Refer to me as Dreamfinders Danny Hicken.
What in the blazes? Is this a cash grab?
No, it's just that I believe so much in Dreamfinders Homes. 20 locations in Northeast Florida, official home builder of Jags and Gators. Great opportunity for first-time homeowners.
All right, Dreamfinders Danny it is.
Did I mention the lowest interest rates you can find? Visit dreamfindershomes.com. Now let Dreamfinders Danny celebrate through the majesty of song. Dreamfinders, I believe they will build your home just right.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is the Amateur's Edge, brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
And we're back. Welcome to the Amateur's Edge. This is your host, Jerrian Sanders, and we got a fun show today. Talking about LeBron James and his son, Bronny James. having the opportunity to enter and play in the NBA after a season of averaging 4.9 points per game, 2.8 rebounds per game, 2.1 assists per game. Why are you laughing over that, Cleo? This isn't a joke, man.
Man, I see how you setting this thing up, man.
It's the emphasis you putting
Yeah,
on
I
them
know,
stats
man.
right there.
That's how you setting this thing up, man.
I'm going to say it again. 36.6% shooting from the field. And he's projected to be get drafted.
You feel like you got left out the draft? That's what it is.
I should have been drafted, man. I'm very salty. To be honest with you. I'm very salty. But it brings up a lot of questions, man. People get mad about stuff like this, and they say, if he wasn't LeBron James' son, he wouldn't be in this position. And my answer to that is, duh.
Right.
I mean, he wouldn't have them genetics neither if he wasn't LeBron James' son, so he might not even be in the conversation. So
Exactly. So the question becomes, if you were, it's a couple of questions that comes to mind. One is, if you were LeBron James and you had the opportunity to, or if you were in his position and you could leverage your power to get your son to be able to come play with you, would you do it?
quick yes.
I think everybody would say
yeah,
yes. Right?
I mean, that's done, right? I mean, that's the family business. The family business is basketball, and business is good for LeBron James. So why wouldn't you want that sort of experience to make sure you can set the table for your son in that format? And I mean, a lot of guys have gotten the opportunity, like Doug Peterson has the opportunity right now to coach his son Josh. There's not very many athletes have had the opportunity to play on the same team, on the same court at the highest level with their son. And I mean, that would have to be a different experience, and he's that close to it. Why wouldn't he want to do that? Like, he's like, if I could hold on for a couple more years, I could play with my son on the court, pass him the ball, maybe set up get the assist on his first points. I mean, come on.
Right.
You talk about a father-son moment. Like, it don't get better than that.
Don't get no better than that.
I got some direct experience with this because my dad was my high school coach, right? So I experienced that. And it was a lot of that in the community saying that the only reason was because of my dad and this and that. And I think that's what also pushed me to create my own identity once I left high school and became a college athlete. I wanted to prove to everyone that wasn't the case.
Right.
And no matter if it is or not, that's what's going to be said.
Right.
Now, fast forward to this environment. I think, if I'm in that same position, I'm going to make sure Bronny is going to have an opportunity to live his dream. This is his dream to be in the NBA. Now, how long this dream lasts, we don't know. But I'm going to definitely help him get him through the door and make it come true.
Right.
And then after that, because it don't matter if he averages 5 points or he averages 15 points, people are going to always have something to say.
Right. Well, we got a call on the line. Caller. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Who are we speaking with?
It's Stu.
Stu, how you doing in the morning, Stu?
I'm good, and I want to jump right into it.
What you got on your mind, Stu?
First off, Boston in 6. Let's go Celtics.
Okay.
Second, I want to speak on Bronny James. Now, there's been other athletes whose father played in the league, right?
Right.
God rest his soul, Bill Walton's son, Luke Walton. He averaged more points per game in college than Bronny James, but he got to the league and didn't really live up to the expectations of being Bill Walton's son. So why is it any difference? Even though Bronny only averages, 4.9 points?
Yes.
Who's to say the hype that's around him right now, of course, is because of his father. But who's to say that there's pro scouts out there that see the potential and see how high Bronny James' ceiling is? So if you think it's nepotism, It could be. Of course, he's going to have that privilege because his father is LeBron James. But let's say you're a real estate mogul, and your son is within your company. But there's another guy who's brighter than your son, who runs operations way better than your son. But who's that father going to pass the torch to?
That's a great point. And
he's going to pass the torch to his son. So nepotism doesn't only happen within sports. It happens in the corporate world in all avenues of life. So why is it any different when it comes to Bronny James? And there's been numerous of athletes whose fathers played college ball, pro ball, and I think because he's LeBron James' son, even the expectations in college were higher than your so-called, just average athlete whose father probably never, ever played a sport. I think it's because of who his father is, the last name, and what his father has been to the NBA.
That's a great point, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in, Stu. And then I would also piggyback on that. You got to think, Bronny had a rough start to his USC career.
Right. Medical emergency.
Right. So now it probably took him a season, to get his body back right, to feel comfortable, and just the fear of going out there and having that happen again.
That mental part of it. He was out there on the court when it happened.
Right.
And you want to talk about like athletes go through major physical injuries and it takes a little while to get back to trusting your knee or trusting whatever. It's the same. That's something worse.
That's
learning to retrust your body.
Yes.
Right.
It's a whole different ball game.
Right.
Yes. So I just feel that, because then you look at what's my man in Milwaukee, Giannis.
The Nassus.
You got the brother on the side.
Oh man.
I'm just saying, if Bro could get in the NBA, come on, man.
Can get in there.
And I like him. He seems like a nice guy.
Right.
But come on, man, let Bronny in there.
Right. I mean, like I said, man, it's hard because when you talk about that NBA level, the guys coming off the bench were all Americans.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Those guys were all Americans.
Yep.
And to skip over other guys who deservedly should be in that position becomes hard. Now, the one thing I will say that he does have in his favor, this year's draft, they're saying is probably one of the weakest ever. Like, nobody has any idea who's the number one. Oh, I'm just running my mouth. Let's caller. We got a caller on the line.
What's up, Smooth?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Got you, Smooth.
Yeah, we got you. What you got, Smooth?
Okay, let me, real quick, American capitalism. American capitalism promotes the idea of, meritocracy. Individuals succeed based on what? Their talent, efforts, and achievement. America. What does America really base it off on? Talent, achievement, and your merit only goes so far, but it's really your connection, your wealth, and your social capital.
Who you know?
You can go so far. You can only go so far with your talent. Jerrian Sanders' son. He's going to probably be a top 5 pick. Would he be a top 5 pick if he wasn't Jerrian Sanders' son? He'll probably be in the first round. He'll probably maybe second round. I mean, they didn't just have no great record. I mean, he performed. But a lot of that stuff is based off that he's Jerrian Sanders' son. Eli Manning, would he have been the number 1 draft pick if he didn't have that Manning name? Now some people, the argument is are you going to use the opportunity that you have? Are you going to use it? Or is it going to just be, waste? They was talking about, the other caller was talking about Bill Walton's son. I mean, he did win a championship. He did contribute to a Lakers championship. I mean, he averaged 8 to 10 points a game. No, I think somewhere between 8 to 15 points a game. Mm-hmm. That ain't bad.
It was solid.
He made a career.
It was solid.
And win the coaching.
Yeah. He didn't. He had. He wasn't a bust. So I mean, everything is like, man. If Bronny goes into the league and he's able to stay in that league and get a second contract, that's a success,
right,
in my book. The good thing about America, is America fair? No. But life is not fair.
That's right.
Deal with it. Deal with it.
Great
America's
point.
one of the best places where you could be born poor and die rich.
There you go, Smooth.
Right.
Smooth on here preaching.
Yes, sir.
He's trying to tell everybody,
yeah,
you know?
Man. Yeah, man.
Well, thanks for calling in, man.
That's part of it. You were kind of hitting on it a second ago. Like, look, this is a weak NBA draft, and I know we're comparing them to all of these other lineages. I think it's more comparable to outside businesses because if I'm an NBA team and I'm looking at this draft, and I would say, I don't know what I'm gonna get anyway, but I know LeBron James' contract coming up, and he want to play with his son.
Right.
You want to get yourself in the sweepstakes?
There you go.
Bronny, come on. Look. I don't care what market I'm in. If Bronny on my roster, all of a sudden LeBron listening. Right. And he got a player option this summer, and then his contract expires after next year. He might not want to leave L.A., but if Bronny's in, I don't know, New Jersey, all of a sudden he might think Jersey don't look that bad.
Right.
I kind of feel like he's setting up for a Cleveland return for some reason. I got a feeling.
Finish where he started.
And the thing is, too, a lot of people look at the basketball point of view. I don't think this is about basketball per se. I think if you look at the bigger picture, because LeBron is on his way out, he has his hands in a lot of different things. I think he's just trying to get Bronny's resume tight because he has probably bigger, ideas for him other than just dribbling the basketball. He said, hey, your dad did that. Let's get you in the NBA. Let's get you a couple seasons. And then let me throw you in one of these different sports things that I have going on. Maybe the agency, maybe the marketing, maybe in movies. I don't know. But I think it's setting Bronny up for something much bigger than just playing a basketball.
Right. And just thinking back, the only time I can remember a father and son duo actually playing together were the Griffeys. Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr.
Great point.
Yeah. So that was the only time I think I can remember a father and a son even being in the league around the same time.
That is a great point because if you look at the opportunity of this draft and him finding a way on the roster, I think it's going to happen, and I think he's going to make a way for himself to hang around.
Right. I mean, the games that I saw him play, even like dating back to high school, he didn't really. You see the athleticism, you see the skill set, but he didn't stand out like that to me. He wasn't that man amongst boys. So like his teammate Isaiah Collier, who was the number 1 point guard in the nation, he was a dog. In high school, you seen him like man amongst boys. College, he came out there, he held his own, and he's entered into the draft as well. He clearly was like that guy. You saw McDonald's All-American. You saw this kid ready to go take that next step to the NBA. But with Bronny, all the pieces are there. And I always tell people this, and I have conversation with parents when it comes to recruiting and drafting and things like that. They're not recruiting you for who you are today. They're recruiting you based off your potential.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing I think that has to be brought up here. Like
draft's the same way.
Right.
Especially in the NBA.
Right.
That's why all these guys come out after their freshman years because you still got all this potential because they'll say, oh, he's 18. He's still learning his body.
Yes.
We can teach him how to do this. If you stay for them couple years in college and it doesn't become that full picture, now you're 19, 20, 21, they're like, oh, man, that it's not the same amount of potential. That's how guys like a Jimmy Butler who had stayed in college longer, slides in the draft, and then people are like, well, this guy was a steal. Well, they saw it.
Right.
They just said maybe he didn't have the same potential as some of those 17-year-olds that they get earlier on.
Right. But Bronny is a 6'1" shooting guard.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. He's not a point guard, right? And he's a good athlete, but like when you're 6'1" and you're a point guard, like you have to be a phenomenal athlete. You got to be a Nate Robinson type athlete, like, right? Because when you're talking about matchups and matchup problems, like where does he match up on the floor?
Did you see him in the combine? He didn't miss a shot.
No, that was like the second day or something like that. The first day he wasn't really hitting on that.
He was making shots.
Right.
So I think he kind of showed his ability to shoot the rock.
But when you're a small point guard, you have to be a dynamic scorer.
Shooter.
But and is he really a shooter?
I think he can develop into that.
Right.
I think he can.
Right.
I'm not saying he will, but I think just me watching his maturation, he's gotten better every year. And then you just stick him, in an NBA organization. You just say, hey, look, this is what your focus is to get better. I think you're going to see him continue to make those strides.
So you brought up the height thing, and it reminded me of this meme I saw online. There was a height chart on the wall with the number of NBA players based on the height. It got down to 6'1". It was like, I just pulled it up. It's got 20 players in the NBA right now that are 6'1".
And below?
Just 6'1". So 6 foot. The number dropped again. It was like 5'10". Call your football coach. Was basically what the chart said. But because there's not many players that are 6'1" or 6 foot that are hanging in the NBA, so he's got to figure that out.
Do you have some names on there? Can you rattle off a couple of those 6'1" names?
Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland.
What? Hold on. Donovan Mitchell, 6'1"?
Keep going.
That's what he's listed as.
Keep going. Watch it. Look at the shock on his face.
He just tore up.
Yeah, keep going. That's why I wanted you to do the names. That's why I wanted you to do the names. Go ahead, do the names.
Hold on. That speaks more to my point. Donovan Mitchell is a freak athlete.
Let's hear the rest of the names. I want to hear the names.
Mike Conley, Terry Rozier, T.J. McConnell, Dennis Schroeder, Peyton Pritchard, Trey Jones, Cameron Payne, Scottie Pippen Jr., Seth Curry, Malachi Flynn, Javon Carter, Kyra Lewis Jr., Devontae Graham, J.D. Davison, Colin Gillespie, and Jordan Ford. Some of them you know, and some you don't.
You don't. I don't know. We had to catch that on the next side.
All right, yeah. Well, we'll talk more about it here on the Amateur's Edge. This segment was brought to you by Premier Physical Therapy. Your wellness journey begins at Premier Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, the gold standard in orthopedic and sports rehab for adults and adolescents alike. Down 904-996-6922 and visit PremierPTJax.com today for the Premier experience. You're listening to the Amateur's Edge on 1010XL.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hayes' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Let's go! And happy Halloween in June. Come cheer your Jacksonville Sharks on to victory as they fight against the Arizona Rattlers this Saturday, June 1st, 7 o'clock at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. With tickets as low as $15, you're not going to find any Saturdays with more family affordable fun. It's for everyone. Dig out your best costumes for Halloween night. It's always one of the faves. Whoever has the best costume will go home with a prize. Venture into the Scare Zone, featuring 13th Floor Haunted House. And join us post-game on the field for an autograph session. Don't miss the game. This Saturday, June 1st, it's Halloween in June at the Veterans Memorial Arena. Be a part of indoor football fun and exciting, non-stop action. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700. Get ready for Fright Night. Let's go.
Unlock your true potential with the power of sports hypnosis, a power embraced by elite athletes worldwide. Experience the same techniques for peak performance that have propelled top professionals in the NFL, the NBA, MLB, and the PGA to new heights. So whether you're an aspiring athlete or a seasoned pro, HypnoFit tailors to all ages. Visit hypnofit.me today for more information to receive a free copy of AD's book, The Power of Sports Hypnosis. Step into greatness. Your journey to peak performance begins at hypnofit.me.
It's not training camp, but it is the start of a new season. Listen for 1010XL's coverage of organized team activities and minicamp.
Go, here we go.
Brought to you by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Step into the world of B3 Better Sports, where every athlete is an emerging champion. Tailor-made training programs based on science, crafted for your sport, your position, your ambition. Train smarter, not harder. Just 2 to 3 times a week is all it takes to unlock your true potential. Join the legacy of top athletes from Jacks, transforming from aspiring to inspiring, on and off the field. B3 Better isn't just about sports. It's a launch pad for life successes. We're more than a program. We're a community. Rise above, excel, become the athlete you're destined to be with B3 Better Sports Performance.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, the amateur's edge. Brought to you by B3 Better on 1010XL.
We're back. Welcome to the Amateur's Edge. This is your host, Jerrian Sanders, and we have a call on the line. Keith, how you doing today?
I'm great, guys. Enjoying your show, man, on a nice Saturday afternoon. I'm a hooper. I love hoop talk. We don't get much of it down here, so I had to jump in on this.
Stay tuned for Open Gym coming up next, baby.
There you go. We'll do. I'll be in the car for a bit. So yeah, the Bronny talk, man, is so complex. You got the dad thing going on. So we'll put that aside for a second. But just having the pure talk about him as a hooper. You got guys like T.J. McConnell out there. You got Mike Conley. You got Chris Paul. And when I think of the 6'1" guys, these are all point guards, man,
Right.
legit point guards. They're built to be a point guard. And as you made a point earlier, man, they are the top of the top of the top, right? And I just don't see Bronny there or potentially ever being there. Just take my word, I guess, as a caller. I watch a lot of hoops just like you guys. So where does he fit in, man? Name me some 6', 6'1" shooting guards. And I'll take it off the line. So thank you, guys. Appreciate you taking my call.
No problem, man. And it's funny you say that because we just had the same conversation off air. Mm-hmm. Like being 6'1", you have to either be a phenomenal scorer or a phenomenal athlete.
Yep.
And he's neither one.
Or ball handler.
I mean, which means that you facilitate the offense. So he's not in 1, 2, 3. He's neither one of those.
Or just scrappy. I mean, they got guys like Pat Beverly's a good athlete.
Right.
I don't know if he's a phenomenal athlete. He's 6'2", but that sort of mentality. You've seen guys like Jose Alvarado. I'm pretty sure he's 6 foot in New Orleans. He's not a crazy athlete. He did it at Georgia Tech, but he's just a scrappy, gonna fight you, dog fight kind of guy. He's a chihuahua in the mix that's gonna bite at your ankles all game long and annoy you to death. But that's a mentality, and that was the other part of what we were talking about during the break, is that just because you want to be that guy and maybe your skill set fits that, you got to have that in you.
And that's not something you just turn on.
Nah.
Right? You
So you don't get that growing up in Bel Air in Cali? Well, I'm just saying, he might have been scrappy out there.
He might have been scrappy out there in Bel Air, but them Bel Air streets,
So, can I ask a question? Because I'm pulling up somebody right now, their stats and everything. I got a question.
What you got?
Was Muggsy just a one-off? I mean, how did he get into the league? The boy was 5'3".
Muggsy, they would tell you Muggsy, first of all, was a dog.
He averaged like 7 points a game. I mean, but is it just because he was so short he could just like run between people and steal the ball? And
That was part of it. Being so short gave him some leverage. But they would tell you, too, he was very strong and very athletic.
And he had leadership skills.
Phenomenal leadership
because he's what inspired me to believe that I could be in the league. I mean, I'm not 5'3", but
just a little bit taller.
I got a little something else going against me, too, so. Because I can't jump. I don't know if y'all know that. There's a movie about it, a documentary.
There's a movie. Documentary. He wasn't the only show. Earl Boykins was in the league for a long time, too. He was just 5'5", so, I mean, he was not much bigger. But, yeah, those are, I don't know, those are few and far between. That's like whew.
And you think about Spud, who won the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Spud Webb.
Freak athlete.
Freak.
Right.
So, yeah, I get it. But I'm trying to play devil's advocate. You know what
I
I mean?
understand.
I can't be up here with Jerry and always, you know what I'm saying, trying to keep Bronny out the league, man. Come on, let Bronny in.
Yeah, look, I'm with you. I told you, look, if I'm an NBA team, I promise you, if I'm sitting there looking at my board and I'm not sold on somebody, like I'm outside the lottery and Bronny on the board, he looked real attractive just for the sweepstakes of
LeBron.
of possibly getting pops because you're gonna sell jerseys, you're gonna put butts in seats, and if you could finish up, you could get him to add to your team, you got to feel better about winning some more games because regardless of how old he is, how close he is to retirement, LeBron James is still helping teams win games. He's still helping the Lakers get the job done.
Yeah, but are they the playoff teams from this year that would take him? Say all the playoff teams that made the playoffs this year. Do they really look at taking LeBron?
I can see a playoff team doing that. I can see a playoff team drafting Bronny solely for the reason of being able to bring LeBron James.
I don't think so.
That would help you. That might help you get over the hump. If you get toward the back end, I don't know. Look, we got another caller on the line. Hey, caller, what's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas?
How we doing?
buddy?
I'm good, man. So, kind of piggyback off what y'all was just talking about, the issue that you would have, especially if it's a playoff team, and you bring in, I mean, whoever drafts Bronny, probably got a pretty good chance of landing LeBron. But you got to be willing to change your entire program to bring in LeBron.
That was my point. The great point.
Yeah. So that's the issue. That's the issue with a playoff team. Like, once you bring in LeBron, it's LeBron's team.
He gonna dribble the clock out.
He the coach.
It's not even. I'm not even talking about dribble the clock out. I'm not even talking about play style. The dude is an economy. When he comes in, it is now his organization, his team. It don't matter who is there. If he goes to Dallas, right? And we know Luka is on deck. Luka is on deck to be one of the greats in the league right now. He goes to Dallas, it's now LeBron's team.
I don't think they bring him in. Yeah, I don't think they bring him. I don't think
I
they
don't
bring
either.
him.
Like
if you the Knicks, you don't bring him in?
Nope.
If you the Knicks, you do, but if you LeBron, you don't play for my man that's up there, and we're gonna bring you to the ground.
Oh,
what's the coach name up there in New York?
Thibodeau. The Knicks made it farther than the playoffs than the Lakers did.
All right, here's my one for you, and I'll keep him on the line because I want all y'all to chime in on this one. We was talking about Boston early on.
Right.
They lose it in the finals, and you're looking at that Tatum contract. You got a big decision you make. Would you go get Bronny and say, oh, well, I could pair Jaylen Brown with LeBron and see if I get it done that way?
Okay. I'm a
There you
Lakers
go.
fan.
You want
I'm a Lakers
Jaylen
fan.
Brown? You want Jaylen Brown over Tatum?
But
They already paid him.
Yeah, they've already paid.
Tatum's up for a contract.
I know that.
I'm a
Who's
Lakers fan.
Jaylen Brown and keep Tatum?
I'm with you.
If LeBron leaves the Lakers and goes to the Celtics, don't come back to LA, my boy. My boy, don't even think about getting a statue.
Ain't welcome.
Nah, we don't do that. The Lakers and the Celtics? You talking about going to the Celtics?
Complete other end.
Nah, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying, we was talking about blowing it up.
Nah, he better not go to the Celtics. I'm a Lakers fan. Come on, man. I ain't with that. Nah.
Yeah, that would be a tough swallow.
That's
for sure.
crossing some lines. That's crossing some lines.
But I do think you guys are on track though. Like, I think whoever takes that flyer and drafts Bronny, they stand a really good chance of having that winning lottery ticket of bringing in LeBron. Because you bring him in, you're gonna be instantly better. It's just a matter of what the long term effect for your organization is going to be. Because I mean, we got maybe 3 years left, maybe.
Right. I think he can stretch
out
three.
Especially at this level. Because I mean, he's still playing at a very, very high level.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough it would be real tough for a playoff team.
Yeah.
Like, outside of maybe.
Well, what fringe playoff
maybe the
team?
Sixers. Maybe the Sixers.
Maybe a team like the Pelicans that fell apart.
If I'm the Timberwolves, I might take a look at LeBron.
Nope, I wouldn't.
Nah, not with Ant. You need to see if Ant can continue to blossom.
Right.
He'd kind of stomp his shine.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you got to see what Ant is because Ant's like that next face of the league, and you got to see he's growing like exponentially. And if you put a guy like LeBron next to him, I think you do like stop his shine because you already got him and Karl Anthony Towns there.
Cat need to go.
Think about
this.
Think about this team, the San Antonio Spurs.
Ooh, now you speaking.
The San Antonio Spurs.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Come on.
Now, if I'm Pop, I do it because LeBron said he wanted to play for Pop before.
Pop wrap that thing up with him. Oh man, Pop ain't never retiring at that point. Him and LeBron might go out at the same time.
They be up there drinking
You playing,
wine.
I'm playing.
They be drinking wine on the sideline during the game. Come on.
Because you know that's gonna add into it. Because like if you got Bron's gonna be looking for he needs the Robin to his Batman or the Batman to his Robin. He thought Anthony Davis was the guy who he was gonna be able to take that step back. I watched Ant in New Orleans. Ant ain't that dude.
He's not.
And now they didn't see it in LA for the most part. But he's gonna be looking for that superstar that he could be next to him, even if it is he wants to go play with Bronny. That's part of it. He still won't win.
Let me throw you another team out there.
Who you got?
He's a free agent, right? Phoenix Suns. Does he team up
That's
with KD?
one of the places Bronny working out, bro.
Okay, talk to me. That's what I'm just saying.
So Durant
That's one of the places he working out.
No, they play all together because he's a free agent, right? So they don't have to give up anything. He just goes and signs with the Suns, and then they take Bronny. What you think about that?
That's not enough balls.
That would be tough. KD, Bron, Devin Booker,
Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody saying
that's a
they
lot.
trying to win.
Ain't nobody saying trying to win. They just out there having fun.
They just out there having fun, huh?
I mean, he can go. We could send him to Denver at that point.
Thanks for calling in, Aaron.
Yeah. But look, I think it's a good deal. I think it is a good conversation to have. There are places that you're right that he can fit, and there are places where he can't.
I got one more.
Who you got?
Philly.
Yeah, maybe.
What about Maxey? Maxey taking that next step.
He is taking that next step.
But he don't got to touch Maxey. Let Maxey do his thing. But he's kind of like the third wheel with Embiid and hit Maxey and just kind of bringing something different.
Right.
That's a thought.
Well, at the end of the day, again, being in LeBron's position, I think we all can come to the conclusion that we would take full advantage of the leverage that we had to play with our sons. I don't think there's any more joy in a parent's life than to see their kids happy, see them fulfill their dreams, and for you to be a part of it and actually work through it with them. That just adds a whole nother element to things. So, shout out to LeBron for putting himself in that position, man. I can't hate on him for it at all.
And this started years ago.
Right.
You got to think he negotiated all this with his contracts and having it set up the way it's set up for Bronny to be at USC. Like, all this was put in motion years ago.
Good deal. Well, we're wrapping it up, man. It was a great show today. Always good to have you guys on. Oh, well, never mind.
we got a few more minutes. We can keep talking. Let me ask you guys a question real quick.
Oh,
I know we just got out of Mental Health Month, and I'm sitting here, I'm listening to the conversation. I think about more like the sport that I follow. I've heard the conversations, we have people call in and you guys talk about it too, about dads and pushing their kids on the field, thinking they're going to be the next Ken Griffey or the next Vladdy Jr. Like, is this LeBron's thing? Do you see what I'm saying? Is this more obviously we don't live in their household, but if Bronny's not as good as what you guys expectations are for somebody coming into the league, is this like a LeBron thing where he's like pushing his son, like, man, we got to make this happen. We want to do this. We want to go down in history. Look at all the things that I'm doing. And it just like briefly makes me think about, the mental health of a son of somebody who's in this position. Like, again, I follow baseball a little bit more. So I think of Vladdy, I think of Bo Bichette, I think of Craig Biggio, or Kevin Biggio, rather. And then I see, like, Jackson Holliday, who's Matt Holliday's son. He came into the league with these prospect expectations, and that boy was batting .067. I mean, a lot of pressure coming from these dads. Right. And then when you start to, downplay it to just us normal dads that don't have that, I mean, we see this. Like, it's right there in front of our faces. All these dads pressuring their sons. Maybe just let him make his own way in life. Maybe he doesn't. I mean, maybe Bronny really doesn't want to play. Maybe. I mean, again, we don't live in their household, but it's just when we start to think about what's going on the field of just these normal little leagues and these normal courts with these other, like, again, just let these kids just play their lives out and make their own way.
That's a great point, because you never saw Michael Jordan pushing for Marcus Jordan to be in the NBA.
Right.
But he played.
He played college ball.
Yeah. But he wasn't good.
But he didn't push for him. And to this point, of getting him into the NBA.
Right.
Like that's what Casey was just. You know what
no,
I mean?
I get it. I don't get the feeling that this is LeBron's dream. Just watching both his sons play, and with the effort that they play and the work that they put into it, I don't get the feeling that this is LeBron's dream. I really truly think both of his sons are actively trying to pursue getting to that next level.
Well,
that's just the feeling I get.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that he's probably the expectation for him from a child, not from inside the house, but everybody outside. If LeBron's your dad, everybody assume you're gonna be in the NBA one day. They also assumed he was probably gonna be a little taller than he is. But they all assume you're going to get your daddy athleticism. You're going to be just like Pops. You're going to be big, strong, and dominating the league. So he's probably been living with some of those expectations his entire life because bloodlines in the NBA are stronger than bloodlines in a lot of other sports because you need the height. You need the athleticism, that jumping ability.
Right. Great point, man. Great show, man. Always a good time with you fellas, man. This is Amateur's Edge on 1010XL 92.5. We'll see you guys on the other side.
Add an ace to your Tuesday morning.
The third ace in 4 days.
Brunch with a tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Art of Natural Stone.
8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents